In this video, we'll be going through a system that can re-engage your old leads, handle the conversation professionally, and also follow with them and nurture them 24/7. So this system is built on GoHighLevel, n8n, and Retell AI acting as a voice agent. So let's get on with it. All the resources mentioned in this video will be in my resource hub. Link is in the description, so be sure to grab that. Okay, so let's start with the n8n workflow. So a basic flow will be, let's say it will run periodically, let's say every 3 days, week, 2 weeks, whenever the business wants. In that case, we will go through all the leads that are in a certain tag, let's say inactive state, an active tag. The use case will be, let's say we work with a certain lead for, let's say, a couple of months, we finished the work, and now they are in an inactive state. So we will search for those contacts in GoHighLevel which are in that particular tag or in inactive state. So how will you do that? We'll use this API, this contact search API. It's a post API, and the filters for this you can find it over here. Search contacts based on combination of advanced filters. The documentation link is over here, right? So you can find all the filters that you can use. So basically what we are doing is we will be using this filter called tags filter, and we will search for an inactive tag, right? So location ID, I'll tell you how to find that and when we go to the GoHighLevel section soon. Page limit, and in the filters we have used a field called tags, operator is equal, and value as inactive. So this will return us all the contacts which are in the inactive state, right? So as you can see, it returned us the phone number, first name, last name, whatever details we have, right? Once we have that, what we will do is we will loop over. So in this case we just have one, but assume, let's say there are 50 to 100 contacts which are in an inactive state. What we'll do is we'll update the tag to reactivate, right? So let's say we want to update certain contacts which are inactive and between a certain date time, right? So between last 2 to 3 months. So we'll get those particular set of leads and we will reactivate them by adding a tag, right? So as soon as we add a tag, automation in GoHighLevel will be triggered, which we will move on to soon, right? So this is what is happening over here. We are updating the tag to reactivate. So basically, this is an API called contacts and contacts put API. And what we'll do is we'll add the tag called reactivate, right? So you can add tags in your GoHighLevel over here. So let's say I open this contact, you can add any tag over here. So new whatever tag you want, you can add that over here. And as soon as we have that tag as reactivate, what we'll do is it will come to this particular automation. I'll come to that soon. First let me come out all the other else. So after that, this is the main the base, the base starting workflow, which is this one, GoHighLevel reactivation. Everything will start from over here, right? So let me just quickly explain the other workflows, right? In the other workflow, what is happening is, again, this is property fetcher. I've covered this multiple times, so I won't cover this now. Basically, in short, we have certain let's say whatever conditions we have as 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom rental buy, it will get all the properties from Zillow, and that's all it will get. And this is basically check availability and book appointment, right? So in my last video I made these automations and I'm reusing those over here, right? So you can check my last video of my in-depth explanation for this, how it works. In short, how this will work is, let's say we say to the voice agent that I want to, let's say, book for tomorrow at 10 p.m. So it will get the date over here, right? It will get all the data. It will get the start date in a particular format called Unix MS timestamp. So make sure of this, timestamp, because this is timestamp, the format that is used in GoHighLevel. So make sure of that. We add 1 day. So in this case, you can add 2 days, 3 days. So basically, the use case will be we check for availability between today and tomorrow, right? So, and this one is we get the end date, right? So again in the same Unix MS timestamp, and then we search for the availability, right, using this API called calendars. and we pass that and get whether if it's available or not, right? And the book appointment, same thing happens. The small difference here being is that once we get the, let's say we confirm that this appointment is available, we start to book it. For that, first of all, we check for that contact. Let's say if it's a new contact, if it's existing contact. Based on that, certain things happen. So if it's a new contact, if it's not found, that is it's a new contact, and if it's found, that means it's a older contact, right? So for older contacts, for existing contacts, we just create appointment using that contact ID, right? Location ID and calendar ID and the start time over here, right? And for the new contacts, we first create a contact, right? Because creating contact is primary in GoHighLevel, right? And using that new contacts contact ID, the response, we create the appointment, right? So calendar ID, location ID, and contact ID. Again, I have covered this in depth in my last video in each and every detail, so be sure to check that, right? And once the appointment is booked, we just return it, right? And this particular API is for just calling the Retell AI voice agent, right? So that's all. So this was a n8n prompt, I mean automation. Basically, what we did in short was we searched for all the contacts with inactive tag or inactive state. We loop over them and then we update the tag to reactivate, or we add a new tag, right? We can add as many tags as we want. So we add a new tag called reactivate, which will trigger our main GoHighLevel automation, which will start to nurture and reactivate the contact, right? So we'll move on to that automation next. So before moving forward, if you're facing this exact issue in your business about having a bunch of old leads and not knowing how to reactivate them at a scale and efficiently and professionally, and you want a similar system built for you, go ahead and book a call with me and we can discuss how to customize the solution exactly for use case, right? So go ahead and do that. And next up is the GoHighLevel automation. So we'll be covering the GoHighLevel automation right now, and as you can remember, in n8n what we did was we searched for all the contacts with inactive tag, looped over them, and we updated the contact tag to reactivate, right? So after we updated the contact tag, it will come over here to this trigger node, and what this trigger node will do is as soon as the contacts tag is updated, any contacts tag is updated with reactivate, it will come over here, right? And you can add any tag. So you can add booked, qualified, did not connect, whatever, up to you. But in this case it can be reactivate. It will come over here, and first of all it will first send a reactivation offer. So this is a SMS, not a voice agent. And the benefit of this particular system is it will reach out to the lead on multiple channels. So that's a really key factor of ensuring we convert more inactive to active leads, right? We reach out to them on multiple channels. So first of all it will start with a SMS reactivation offer, and in this case this is a real estate based lead, right? Real estate based business. So keep in mind of that in demo. So what we're doing is we will send them SMS using a SMS node of hi, contact at first name. So it's personalized. Just checking, are you still looking for out for a property in New York? So instead of New York you can add we must be having certain data about that lead, right? So instead of that you can add that data, right, where exactly what they're looking for a property. So you can replace that over here. We have had a new few new listings that match what you were originally looking for, want me to send that over. So it's a nice and soft reactivation offer, right? And which is personalized. So make sure it's personalized. It's not like mass bulk SMS which just looks really robotic, right? So make sure it's not that. Otherwise the conversion percentage will be just basically zero, right? So add that reactivation offer and wait for the reply. Instead of 1 hour you can put probably 6 hours, right? Half a day, you wait for half a day. right? So you can change that by days, hours, or minutes. So probably you can do 6 hours, right? And after that, we check did they reply or not, right? So if they didn't reply, it will come over here. If they did reply, it will come to this particular branch. So let's go with if they did reply, and this is basically a branch node. So we can add as many branches and conditions as we want, right? So in this case, we're checking if the contact replied is true or false, right? So based on that, and we can add multiple conditions also. It will just create multiple branches over here, right? So first of all, it will check if the contact replied. If they did reply, it will come to this particular intent type. So what this is what type of a response it was, right? Was it a positive, was it a negative response? Negative, it can be like, just stop, no, whatever, on that lines. And if it was positive, it can be something like they might be interested, or yes, or send me more details, stuff like that. So we check on the intent, and if the intent was positive, it's a good sign for us. Just based on our first SMS itself, the contact converted. So we send them a booking link, and they can book a call. Otherwise, if their reply was negative, such as stop or no, or don't contact me or stuff like that, we'll just send them end SMS, namely no worries, or you can add whatever SMS that you want. So that particular branch will end. But in case if the contact didn't reply, right, it will come to this branch. It will send a second SMS, right? So we will keep on nurturing and contacting the lead, right, to reactivate. Over here, what we are saying is just following up. We personalize by the name. We still have few open slots this week. Let me know if you want to hop on a quick chat. We could, save you weeks of searching, right? So this will be sent after, in this case, after 6 hours, or you can send the message after a day or two. Again, depends on your use case, right? So we'll send him the SMS. Again, we will wait for the reply. In this case, I'm putting as 8 hours, right? So not too long, not too short also. Again, you can change it according to your business case. After that, again, we check for did they reply or not, and let's come over here if they didn't reply, right? So we send them the first SMS, that is the reactivation offer. We send them the second SMS, and for the final reach out, we will call them, right? So there were no replies for the two SMS. Most probably there won't be any reply for the third SMS also. So if we really want to reactivate them, we will just call them using a voice agent, and this is basically a custom webhook. The method is post, and this will call out to this particular endpoint called this Retell AI, which you just saw. It will send these particular data to our endpoint, and using these data, our voice agent will have access to these data however it wants, and you can add uh, other data points also, such as what kind of properties they were interested in, any data point that you have on the GoHighLevel contact, right? So it's a post method, and this is the URL, and this is the body that we are sending, right? And this is a custom webhook. So it will call that, and if during the call the lead is interested in booking, right, it will come over here, right? It will check for the availability, it will check for the appointment, and it will just book the appointment, and lead is basically almost converted, right? So it went from lead which we aren't working with to a lead which has booked a call, right? So that's a task successful, and that's why after that we don't have anything, right? So if the lead is not interested even after the call, you can just ignore the lead. But if it was interested, we'll just book a call using this particular automation. How this will be triggered, I'll come to that when we reach our voice agent, right? And if I go a bit back, if the lead did reply, right, in this case, if it did reply, it will, first of all, we'll check again if the reply was positive or it was a negative reply. If it was negative, we'll just stop it, right? So no worries, we'll stop it. And again, in this case, we'll just send him a booking link. So this was a GoHighLevel flow. So if I just recap it, we'll first of all, we'll get all the contacts with inactive tag, loop over them, and we'll update the contact tag to reactivate. It will come over here, trigger. Once we update the contact tag to reactivate, it will trigger this particular workflow. It will send those contacts a reactivation offer with a personalized message, right? So make sure it's personalized. It will wait for a certain amount of time. That is up to you. In this case, it's 6 hours. After that, it will check did they reply or not. If they did reply, it will check the intent, right? If it was a positive reply, if it was a negative reply. Based on that, we'll send a booking link or we'll just end the flow, right? And also you can add some kind of a SMS bot over here. So let's say if the reply was positive but it's not, right, send me a booking link, right? It's on the verge of being converted but it's not converted, so you can add a certain nurture sequence over here with something connected to SMS reply bot, right? So you can add that over here. And in the other case, if the contact didn't reply, it will again send the contact the second SMS, wait for the reply. If it didn't reply, it will call the voice agent. We are calling using a custom webhook, call this, and sending some details, right? And if it did reply, we'll do either of these two, right? So this was the GoHighLevel automation, and I would recommend you to add a certain automation called SMS nurture bot. Again, this I have covered in my previous video about my first client. So in that case, add a certain SMS bot that you might have remembered, right? If not, go out and check that video so you can integrate that particular SMS bot in this particular workflow also, so it kind of amplifies this workflow a lot, right? So I recommend that to add it to here. So this was a GoHighLevel automation, and next we will move on to our Retell AI voice agent. So right now we'll move on to the Retell AI voice agent, and this is really straightforward. Again, really similar to my previous voice agent, right? About the real estate reactivation. So I'll just cover it really quickly, and first of all I'll cover the functions. Those functions will be the property fetcher, which is this one, right? Second will be the check availability, which is this one, and third will be the book appointment, right? So the parameters for those will be in property fetcher, we will send what kind of a property the lead is interested in, right? It can be apartment, location, minimum and maximum price, number of bedrooms, and whatever the status that is, if it's for sale or for rent, right? So all these details we'll send and we'll get the response back. For the check availability, what we are sending is we are sending appointment date, and the format will be, make sure it is in this format, ISO 8601 format. So it accepts this format over in the webhook, and after that we convert it to, as you remember, Unix MS timestamp. It will return the response, right? So this is the check availability. And the book appointment is almost similar to check availability. We will send the name, appointment date, again in ISO 8601 format, and phone number in the international format. So make sure all these formats are correct, right? Because if they are incorrect, something or the other can break apart and it will interfere with your workflow. So make sure these formats are rightly in place and rightly suggested and implemented. So this is a book appointment, name, appointment date, phone, service, and these are all the required fields. And again, I've covered the similar prompt in one of the previous videos, so do check that, right? I use mostly similar kind of prompt structure and similar kind of custom functions. So be sure to check my previous videos, for more in-depth prompt, right? So these are all the functions. And coming to prompt is pretty straightforward. We have certain context about the company. We have the persona of the voice agent, that is what kind of role it is, objective, skills and tones. We have the context, that is about what kind of a property that it is looking for. So in this case, you can remove this context. We have certain specific information that you might want to add to the voice agent that can be specific to your use case. So in this case, you may ask only one question at a time and wait for the response after each question you ask. So one question, one response. So make sure it's in that format. These are the qualification criteria. If the lead is qualified, so if the lead is pre-approved, budget alliance and all those stuff. So again, this is really depending on your use case. These are the rules and in the steps to follow. The main step, if I come to, is over this one. So determine qualification. If the user wants to book appointment, clarify the goal and determine the service and ask for the preferred appointment date. Call the function check availability, which is this one, check availability, and if available, inform the user. If nearby times are available, then again inform the user. Confirm the selected date and time with the user, right? So we first confirm, and once confirmed, call the function book appointment, right? So after the user confirms that yes, I'm happy with this particular appointment date and time, after that, call the book appointment with all these details called name, appointment date, phone, and whatever service. If booking is successful, let the user know, right? If it returns the any error, please start from step 6, right? And handle any objections gracefully. You can also add, and I recommend to all my clients to add a knowledge base over here, so it amplifies the voice agent by exponentially, right? It's really useful to add a knowledge base, as many knowledge base as you need, right? So the voice agent will have access to all of the required information about your business, right? So as add the knowledge base if you want. So this was the prompt. These are all the functions that we have. Again, I'll just cover the flow really quickly. This was the GoHighLevel reactivation. We searched for all the contacts with inactive flagged, looped over them. We updated the contact tag to reactivate. It came to this particular flow, so we sent them almost 2 SMS, right? So after, let's say, 2 SMS and 1 voice call. So if the 2 SMS they want any response, we call them using the voice agent that is done over here. If there were any response in any of these branches, we send in the bookending. But if the response was negative, we just ended it. So make sure if the response is negative or they tell you to stop, make sure you stop. Don't reach out to them again and again. This can just backfire on you. Right, so this was the automation. So if you like this video, do stick around for more, as I have more advanced builds and client based builds coming up next. And if you have certain suggestions, leave it in the comments and I'll make sure to address them. And thank you for watching.